They're mocking. It's a mockery.
They say you are free, but every song you listen to, every scroll you make, every class you sit in is controlling how you think, how you move, but most importantly, what you worship. They sold us a dream, and behind it was debt. They sold us pleasure. And behind that was poison. They sold us freedom, but handed us chains. There is a way out of this mess. You will not hear it from the politicians. You're not going to hear it in school, and you're definitely not going to hear it from the music, but you will hear it today, because this is not a conspiracy. This is a message, and I'm naming names. They say it's just music, just beats and bars. But tell me why the soundtrack of my generation is murder.
I hopped out so quick, then I raised my blick and I don't miss. I let off 2 shots, I hit him in the now Bonte quick. What you finna do? Cause this gon' make the news, gotta make your move.
Why is death always trending? A study at Cambridge found that violent themes in rap music have risen significantly since the early 2000s. Not by accident, not because the streets got colder, because the business model got clearer. Glorify drugs, promote killing, celebrate crime,
It's nonsense. Go in, gap for the money and run to one of your aunt's cribs.
sell trauma. When Pop Smoke died, his streaming numbers rose by 1,000%. When Juice WRLD died, he broke Spotify records. When XXXTentacion died, he got 10 million streams that night that he died. Labels do not mourn, they monetize. French Montana said it best. They are signing street rappers, hoping they die so they can collect. But it goes deeper than that. The same companies who control the music are the same companies behind the pills, the prisons, and the policies. Universal Music Group, heavily invested in by BlackRock and Vanguard. BlackRock, a top shareholder in Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, the makers of the opioids that are wrecking our communities, and also the biggest investors in private prisons like CoreCivic and CEO Group. Are you hearing this, bro? They profit when you're addicted. They profit when you are arrested. They profit when you die. And hell, they'll even profit when they stream your song at your funeral. Do you hear this? They don't want you healed, they want you high. They do not want you free, they want you enslaved with gold chains. But Jesus said in John 10:10, the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. This system, the music industry, this whole system owned by BlackRock Vanguard is the thief, but Jesus is the key. You are not a product, you are not entertainment, and you are not a hashtag. You are a child of God, made for more than this machine. They say we elect our leaders, but what if the real power lies in Wall Street boardrooms and not the ballot box? Consider this. Hank Paulson, Treasury Secretary under George W. Bush, was a former CEO of Goldman Sachs. Robert Rubin, who also served under Clinton, also from Goldman Sachs. Steve Molchman, Treasury Secretary under Trump, was yet another Goldman Sachs alumni. The revolving door between Wall Street and Washington is not something new. In 2008, when the financial crisis hit, banks received a $700 billion loan from the Trouble Assist Relief Program. While nearly 10 million American families lost their homes, and the average U.S. household lost about $30,000 in home equity and about $70,000 in stock wealth. Then came the 2010 Supreme Court decision, Citizens United versus the FEC, which allowed corporations and other outside groups to spend unlimited money on elections. This opened the floodgates for corporate influence in politics. Today, CEOs are not just business leaders, they are policy makers. Private sector CEOs have figured out how to become a better check to power to the presidency than even Congress has. And that is a huge problem because we don't want the 0.001% of Americans to be in charge of all Americans. You know what I mean? Because that is not true democracy. And it doesn't matter who wins the election, Democrats, Republicans, it doesn't matter because the banks always win in the end, either way, no matter who gets elected. The Bible warns us in Proverbs 22:7, the rich rule over the poor and the borrower is slave to the lender. It is time for us to recognize who holds the power and the money, and we need to seek freedom beyond the confines of this system, this political system, the system that is America, and we need to seek true freedom in Jesus Christ. Let me be clear from the start. This is not an attack on our veterans. This is a message in honor of them. The men and women who serve this country deserve our deepest respects. Many believe that they were fighting for freedom, and many of them gave everything. but we need to ask, freedom for what? Because behind every war is a contract. Behind every bomb is a dividend. In 2001, defense stocks like Lockheed Martin were around $40 a share. After the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, $450 per share. Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, and Boeing all saw record growth. $14 trillion. That's how much money the U.S. has spent on wars since 9/11. And who got it? Not the veterans, the investors, the corporations, the CEOs. I don't know about you, but that ain't right. That ain't right to me. And while they profited, many veterans came home to trauma, to silence, and to poverty. Some of whom even came home to no home at all because they end up going homeless. Veterans did not start these wars. They did not lobby Congress, and they did not cash the checks. But they did pay the price. And the truth is that the same people who send the poor to fight will make sure that they never have to go to war themselves. This is not about left or right. This is about right and wrong. And it's about seeing the illusion of endless war. And there should be no more blood for profit. Jesus said in Matthew 5:9, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God." Have you ever asked yourself why school is 7 hours a day for 5 days a week? It's not on accident. It is a replica of the work week. You see, schools were built to mirror factories. In the 1800s, industrialists like Horace Mann and John D. Rockefeller pushed for an education system not designed to produce leaders, but workers. John D. Rockefeller, the oil tycoon who made billions of dollars, also funded the General Education Board and famously said, "I do not want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers." And that is exactly what they have built, ladies and gentlemen. You have trained to follow instructions, not question them. Line up, don't speak unless spoken to, raise your hand, memorize, and repeat. Then graduate, and what? You are funneled straight into student loan debt. The average student in the U.S. graduates with over $37,000 in student loans. So now what? You owe money. But don't worry, don't question it. Just sit there 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, memorize your stuff, get your good test scores, get that school funding because that's what it's about at the end of the day. You got to keep the machine going, right? And then after that, what do? You go into a job and what do you keep doing? You don't question things. You do what you're told and then you make money for your boss. See, it's the same thing. It's called financial slavery, okay? Because they want to get you into debt. That way you have no choice but to go work for the man. Okay, they do not want you to think for yourselves. They want you to work for the machine. They will not teach you how to budget, but they'll teach you how the mitochondria works. They won't teach you how credit works, but they'll tell you what x squared to the third to the x to the whatever, equation means. I mean, how useful is that really for 99% of students? The answer is that it is not. It literally isn't. According to a survey by H&R Block, only 37% of Americans admit to using the stuff they learned in high school on a day-to-day basis. That means 67% of the stuff that you're taught, 63%, my bad, that's that school knowledge right there. 63% of the stuff that you're taught in school is not actual useful information that you will use in your day-to-day life. And according to Truth Youth, only 46% of students believe the things that they are learning in high school is actually valuable information that they will use in their day-to-day lives. So you have not only lost the trust of the adults that have went through the system, you're also losing the trust of the students going through it because they're starting to open their eyes and realize that it is leading us to financial slavery. Listen to it. They want you to replicate the work week. They want you to go there, make money for your school, don't question things, learn about the mitochondria for whatever, who knows? I mean, if you're going to go be like a biologist or something that makes sense, but let's face it, 99% of high school students aren't going to do that, and that's what college is for, to go learn those things, and then it's a debt cycle. I don't know, I'm getting a little bit too off topic, but you see, they're trying to get you ready for the work week and financial slavery. That's what they want to do. They want to get you into debt. That way you are the slave to the system for the rest of your life. I mean, why do you think the American dream is to own a house? Why? Because who profits off of that? The banks do. Because when you go, you give $30,000 as a down payment to the house, say it costs $300,000, you got to finance the rest of that. So who makes money off of that? The banks. It's all connected. I'm telling you, this is financial slavery, and the people at the top keep making money, and the little guy keeps getting screwed. You see, it is not about education. It is about indoctrination into financial slavery. According to Ecclesiastes 7:7, surely oppression makes the wise man mad. All right? And I feel like that's kind of what schools are doing here. I feel like they're trying to get you into financial slavery. All right? And the people that see this, it makes them crazy because the rest of the people around them don't see this. All right? So that's why I'm trying to tell you what I think that they're trying to do here and what evidence suggests. Okay, so it's financial slavery that they're trying to get you into. So please open your eyes and realize what they're doing, okay? You You see it every day. Left against right, race against race, neighbor against neighbor. But ask yourself, who benefits from this endless fighting? Is it you? Is it me? It's neither of us, alright? The system wants us divided. The media fuels this fire. Studies show that the mainstream news often amplifies conflict between Democrats and Republicans, pushing stories that keep us angry and polarized. Cable channels like Fox News and MSNBC target opposite sides, turning news into a battlefield instead of truth. And oh yeah, by the way, social media makes it a lot worse. MIT studies show that false political news spreads faster because it's more emotional. And Facebook's own leaked research reveals that algorithms boost divisive content because drama keeps you scrolling, clicking, and addicted. And what about race? You see, when a white cop kills a black man, the headlines stream for weeks, but when 20 black boys die in the streets, it almost never makes national headlines. A study at the University of Pennsylvania proves that bias skews public perception, demanding fear and mistrust between communities. Why? Because division keeps us distracted, fighting each other instead of looking up and seeing who the real enemy is, you know, the rich, the elite, the corporations, the bankers. You see, they all profit off of our hate and fear. They want us to stay divided, so we hate and fear each other, and we don't look at them and realize that they are the real issue. Sociologist Thomas Piketty explains that economic elites exploit these divisions to protect their wealth. They pour money into campaigns on both sides, ensuring that politicians serve them and not the people. Please listen to these words from the Bible, from James 5:1-6. Come now, you rich, weep and howl for the miseries that are coming upon you. Your riches have rotted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver has corroded, and their corrosion will be evidence against you and will eat your flesh like fire. You have laid upon treasure in the last days. Behold, the wages of your laborers who mowed your fields, which you kept back by fraud, are crying out against you. And the cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord of hosts. You have lived on earth in luxury and indulgence. You have fattened your hearts in a day of slaughter. You have condemned and murdered the righteous person. He does not resist you. The whole point of me making this video was to show you how evil the people that run the world are and how evil these corporations are, and also to show you that you can walk through that and be fine when you put on the armor of God. Alright, so there's a link in the description of this video to the Bible. Alright, I don't make any money off of that. It's not even my website, but there's a link to the website below with the Bible on it. Not even my website. Again, don't make any money off of it. I don't care if you subscribe. I don't care if you like the video. I don't care if you share it. Obviously, you know, I wouldn't be mad if you do those things, but the most important thing is I want you to click on that Bible in the link below, and I want you to read some of it, and I also want you to pray. That's all I want you to do. Alright, with that being said, God bless you. I'll see you in the next video.